In the beginning, the Pentagon's unusual UFO program echoed classified DIA and CIA programs in the 1970s and 1980s that explored whether human psychics could use the power of their minds, called remote viewing, to spy on the Soviets and other foreign adversaries from far away. The earlier programs spanned 25 years and were featured in the non-fiction book The Men Who Stare at Goats, which was made into a fictionalized movie in 2009. The programs were ultimately terminated in 1995 and deemed ineffective for intelligence operations, according to the Federation of American Scientists. For the UFO program, Lakatsky would work closely with Colm Kelleher, a contractor who ran its daily operations. Kelleher was trained in Ireland as a biochemist and cancer researcher and speaks with the remnants of an Irish lilt. He had spent years working for Robert Bigelow, a wealthy Las Vegas real estate mogul and aerospace company owner with a deep interest in UFOs and the afterlife. Kelleher and Bigelow already had a history of investigating UFOs and paranormal phenomena, and Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies was the lead contractor on the DIA program, formerly called the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program, or ASAP. Lakatsky and Kelleher recounted their work in interviews with Military.com, having previously published a book about the program, Skinwalkers at the Pentagon, that was cleared for release by the Defense Department. The two men were fans of the remote viewing program, using a pseudonym in their book that was a nod to one of that group's psychics. In a stroke of happenstance, one of the biggest UFO cases in history literally walked through the door in the first days of the new UFO initiative. The existence of the program, funded with off-the-books money authorized by the late Senator Harry Reid, was first reported by the New York Times in 2017, though the paper largely left out the paranormal research and conflated the DIA work with a later program. It was in early 2008, just as the OSAP was getting off the ground, and Kelleher was interviewing program manager candidates in a Las Vegas office. A Marine Corps F/A-18 Hornet fighter pilot who was looking for a job shared an incredible story. At the very end of the interview, he drops this bombshell on me that actually he had been part of the Nimitz carrier strike group, Kelleher said. And of course, I immediately perked up because this was pretty interesting. The Marine pilot's story is now widely known. Pilots and crew reported tracking unusual objects on radar in a military training area off the coast of California in 2004. An infrared video purports to show one shoot quickly out of view. Commander Dave Fravor, a Navy pilot who publicly described the episodes in 2017, said he was scrambled to investigate and encountered an oblong white object that flew without any visible propulsion system or wings. It mirrored his flying before disappearing before his eyes. Part of his account was backed up by Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich, a junior pilot at the time who said she witnessed the object for about 10 seconds. Fravor said in interviews he believed the object was not from this world, further fueling speculation. Some of the pilots involved in this were actually briefing Senate Armed Services Committee members and staffers, and Senate Intelligence Committee members and staffers, Kelleher said about the impact the Nimitz incident would have years later. So, it was considered sort of a sentinel case where the credibility of the so-called UFO phenomenon was introduced at a very high level to Capitol Hill. In early 2009, Lakatsky and Kelleher sent a sailor whom they described as a senior engineer in naval intelligence on a 4.5-month investigation of witnesses and evidence in the Nimitz case. That work would remain secret for years before being leaked by others. After the Nimitz investigation, the sailor and 2 Marines were sent to a Utah property known as Skinwalkerranch, where Bigelow, the owner, had funded his own private research of UFO and paranormal activity over the previous decade. Skinwalker sits on just over 500 acres of steppe land near the town of Ballard in northeastern Utah. It has long been an alleged epicenter of strange happenings, dating back to tales from the Native American Ute tribe and Navajo people, who believe in malevolent witches called skinwalkers who can transform into animal-like creatures. The ranch would later be the subject of a paranormal reality TV show under another owner. The 3 active duty service members, whose identities have been concealed by the researchers and the Defense Department, allegedly witnessed a black void on the land that filled them with fear. Lakatsky and Kelleher claim the men experienced paranormal activity after leaving the ranch and returning to homes in the Washington, D.C. area, such as orbs, dark figures in bedrooms at night, and strange noises. The wife and 2 teen children of the sailor who investigated the Nimitz incident claimed to have seen a wolf-like creature that walked on 2 hind legs staring into their Virginia home on 2 occasions. Military.com asked the Pentagon whether it could confirm the paranormal research. No, was the one-word response from Sue Goff, the department's spokesperson on UFOs. She pointed to the boilerplate disclaimer on the Lakatsky and Kelleher book, which says the department's clearance for publication does not imply factual accuracy.